All right, so I'm going to tell you guys why boredom is ruining or will ruin your life eventually, okay? But before we get into that, I want to say thank you to everyone who helped me reach my goal. 14 days ago, I set a goal to hit 300 subscribers by February. And it's not even February, and y'all already helped me reach that goal. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I post daily, so expect to see content from me every single day. And let's get to 400 now, all right? So here's why boredom is ruining your life. But first, I'm going to tell you about a study that was done by a university, I believe. And in the study, here's what they did, right? This is a study basically around boredom. So they got a group of people to test, right? And they each one of these each one of these people had to go into a room with nothing. There was nothing in the room. They had to just sit there alone with their thoughts. The only one thing that was in the room was a button. And that button had electricity. It shocked you. So the experiment was you go in there and you just sit there alone with your thoughts. After a while of sitting there alone with no type of stimulation to the brain, no phone, no websites, no nothing to distract yourself, just them alone with her thoughts. And what they found was that after a little while of them sitting there doing absolutely nothing, eventually their mind had them touch the button. And they would press the button and it would shock them. And then they would press it again, it would shock them. And then eventually they were playing with that button, even though it was shocking them and causing them pain. Even though every single time they pressed that button, it wasn't doing something good for them, it was shocking them. And no one likes to be shocked, but the mind would rather press a button and shock themselves than to just sit there alone with your thoughts. Isn't that interesting? And that ties into what I'm going to tell you guys today, because if that doesn't show you that boredom will cause you to do things that are not good for you, are harmful for you, and maybe don't benefit you in any way, then understand this. This is why I tell you guys you need to live a life of purpose. Because living a life of purpose is a life of meaning. You live a life of meaning. When you live a life with no purpose, you're just drifting along, doing things that have no meaning. For example, let's say you don't know your greater purpose in life, right? If you don't know the bigger picture of why you are here, you still need to live a life of purpose. And how do you do that? So first of all, anything you do with purpose, with intention, will help you grow. Because if you don't know your purpose, but you wake up at a time, even though you might not want to wake up at that time, you're doing it with a purpose. You're saying, I'm going to wake up at that time, even if I'm tired, even if I don't feel like doing it, I'm going to wake up at that time because the purpose of that is to grow. The purpose of that is to strengthen my mind. And then you adopt a diet and you follow a diet and you cut and you sacrifice foods. Even though you still don't know your greater purpose in life, you're still doing something with a purpose. Because purpose doesn't necessarily mean you do something when you feel like doing it. Purpose is a greater purpose. You're doing this with an intention, with meaning. So not only do you wake up at a certain time that you said you were going to wake up every day, but now you follow a diet. And every single day you're going to want to have snacks. You're going to want cravings. But you're sacrificing why? Cuz you're doing this with intention. You're doing it with purpose. You're not just eating just to eat. You're eating because you have a purpose to strengthen yourself, to show yourself how to sacrifice, to show yourself that you can reach any goal if you simply just sacrifice. I'm going to sacrifice even when I don't want to so that I can achieve the body that I want. And so after 90 days, after 180 days, you will reach your goal. So the purpose ultimately led you to your goal. So adopting something like working out. I'm going to do it with a purpose. Even if you still don't know your greater purpose, I'm going to do this with a purpose. Even when I don't feel like doing it, I'm going to go and I'm going to work out. Because the purpose is to transform my body and transform my mind. So even if you don't know your purpose, you still need to do things with purpose if you want to grow in life. If you want life to get better, because boredom is killing your future. Because when you're bored and you have nothing to do, that's where the vices come in. That's where, porn addiction, that's where drug addiction, that's where all these bad habits come into play. You're simply just bored. Back when I was addicted to pills and the websites and all that, guess what? Guess what the one thing was? I was bored. I didn't live a life of purpose. I didn't work out. I didn't eat how I was supposed to eat. I didn't wake up at a set time. So the only difference between then and now is that. And now I have zero cravings or zero desire for any of those low vibration habits. Because why? Because I do everything with a purpose. I do everything with a purpose. And if you live a life with no purpose, that's going to be a sad life. The reason why I do this is because this is my purpose. My purpose is to overcome obstacles and teach you guys how I did it. My purpose is to overcome obstacles and help you guys and pass on the information so that you don't have to go through it. So that you can learn through my mistakes. Anything I ever learn, I will always pass it on. Because that's my purpose. And I want you guys to experience this because this is my purpose. And every single time I get a message from someone saying, thank you, you really helped me. Every time I see someone get results from me helping them out, every time I wake up every morning and check my comments and someone says, man, you really inspired me, man, you really motivated, man, you really awakened me. That is my purpose and it feels amazing. You feel invigorated with energy. You feel chills going through your body because that's your purpose. And when you live a life with no purpose, you're just going to self-destruct. Give me 1 second. Let me drink this. You're going to self-destruct because boredom is just going to breed bad habits. The moment you're bored, well, I don't know what to do. Well, let me play with myself. Well, I don't know what to do. You're trying to stimulate your mind in some way. And what purpose does is it teaches you to delay gratification. What semen retention does is teaches you to delay gratification. I don't need to satisfy my mind right now. I'm doing things with a purpose. Eventually, you train your mind, and you don't need that instant hit of dopamine. So understand that boredom, if you have nothing to do, if you don't have a set schedule, if you don't plan your days out, if you don't do things with meaning and with purpose and with intention, then you will always revert back to the vices. Doesn't matter how many times you try to quit. You try to quit the weed, you're gonna go back to it if you're not doing things with purpose, if you don't have a plan, if you're not doing things with intention. You're trying to quit porn, guess what? You're gonna go right back to it. You're trying to lose weight. Without purpose, you're always gonna go back to it. I'm gonna try and go on a diet, but you put no purpose, no structure in your life. Then you end up going back to the bad habits. And you end up eating those snacks again. And then a year goes by, 2 years go by, and you're still exactly the same. Why? Because you didn't live a life of purpose. You didn't do things with intention. You went off your feeling and how you feel. And how you feel is not going to get you anywhere because one thing about feelings is they're very volatile. One day they're up, one day they're down. You really want to depend on something that's volatile? If you went to a job and they only paid you when they feel like doing it, would you probably be able to pay your bills? Probably not, right? Because what if they don't feel like paying you? 2 weeks go by and what if they don't feel like paying you? Oh, well, I don't feel. Would you work at that job? Hell no, because it's not dependable. So stop living a life based on your feelings and start living a life of purpose. All right, guys, that's the video for today. Like I said again, thank you guys for helping me reach my goal of 300 subs. 400 next. Help me out. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Like I said, drop a comment. I love reading those comments. This is my purpose, and every time I read it, it really just fills me with energy. It really just inspires me to keep going. So like the video and subscribe. Peace out.